Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on Chess.com's Tactics Trainer. It's been a while for this one, but I'm going to tackle another group of 3 puzzles and just share my thoughts along the way. Okay, we're playing as white, and we're not going to be able to give mate to the king. So I'm wondering if there's a way to pick up the queen somehow. Now, why do I say there isn't a way to give mate? Maybe there is. Maybe there is. Let's not be too quick. So somehow if the king is on b4 and we can get to c3 with check, that'll force king a4 and then queen a3. Yeah, probably is a mate, come to think of it, because... Oh, I see the answer now. Okay, I was just going to discount the win of the queen because I didn't quite see how to hit black with the skewer, getting the queen on this diagonal with the king being on c4 or d5. We could force that. So we could start with this check. If king b4, in fact, queen takes b5 is mate. So queen check, king takes c4 will then be met with queen c3, forcing king d5, and then queen b3 will pick up the queen. I don't think there's much more to go over. That's the only thing. Really just 2 moves. Okay, so let's put it on and see what the computer goes for. Okay, so in 2 moves we're now gonna skewer the queen, or the king and queen. All right, that'll do it. Let's try one more, or puzzle 2 of 3. Team black. Okay. Well, there aren't any good checks on move 1. So the first move that captures my attention is a rook lift. And white's given a move, a check here, king g7, and then what? Where's the follow-up check? Nothing good. Our rook still covers e5. We wouldn't want to go to h7 because of queen takes f7 mate. So I'm just thinking rook to e3. Looking at rook takes pawn, and then white has to give up the queen for the rook, otherwise queen g3 as a follow-up is mate. Is that really all there is to this one? Okay, well, you know what? It's probably a bit more tricky than that, because rook e2 is pretty forceful as well. In fact, how would you even prevent mate with queen to g2 if you start with the rook here? That's probably better. Yeah, because another thing is there's a lot of pawns, so maybe white could somehow give up the queen for the rook and run with this guy. He is only 2 steps away. Yeah, he could be tough to track down. So it's probably you don't even allow white an opportunity to sack the queen for the rook. You just go in for rook e2, and I just don't see how white stops queen g2 mate. Let's test something, though. I've already worked out the checks. They don't really lead to anything. Rook a8, king g7, the end. So rook e2, suppose the king tries to run. What could we do there? Queen g2. This forces king f4. We have another check. Queen h2. This forces the king back to g4. Our rook is controlling all the e-file squares. Pawn has this one. So once the king is on g4, then our rook comes over to g2. Our queen and rook will be on these 2 squares, and they'll cover all the squares from the white king. It must just be rook to e2. I don't have to really consider anything else. And just check, just step up. And okay, so that's what they're going for. But in this case, I guess I probably still should have looked at this one, because I was voicing that I was trying to avoid a situation where white could even give up the queen for the rook, but in this case, we're going to pick up the rook in the corner, take the queen, and then take the pawn with the fork on the king and rook. So that, and then this, and we pick up the rook in the corner. Okay, let's try one last one. Ooh. Okay, Team Black. This is interesting. My first impression was I thought that we were going to be able to mate, but that's not the case. If there was a white pawn here, would we be able to win? No. I was thinking of a puzzle where, yeah, I think we would need a pawn on this square or something. Yeah, I'm trying to think. If this pawn was here, and there was another white pawn here, it would be a win for black. Yeah, if this pawn was here, and white had an additional pawn on a5, black would win by playing here, pawn push, king back here, and the pawn has to move, and then you take the pawn for mate. Anyhow, that was my first, just at a quick glance, I thought this was going to be a win. But I'm thinking we have to somehow draw this. Oh. So the drawing method must be to approach these pawns from behind, because going to c5 allows king to a5. Our pawn can't move then. We're very limited. King d4, king here, and we're just not winning that. So I believe the trick will be to go to c3 on move 1. There aren't many options for white. If the king moves, then we pick up the b pawn. We keep pressure on this pawn, and we're ready to run with the c pawn. So I'm thinking king c3, and I think the computer will go, well, we'll find out. I think on b4, we would then play to b2 with the king. And this will force the king away from the a pawn, and in the end, if these pawns are a knight's move away from one another, they'll both end up just getting traded off as long as one of the kings isn't way out of position, and in this specific case, neither king will be way out of position. So I think it's just king to c3, and we keep pressure on the pawns from behind. So let's put it on. I'm going with b4, and now we approach from behind, and we could take here, and just take the pawn soon enough. Another case of these pawns being a knight move away. King takes pawn, and draw. Okay, that wasn't a bad group of 3. That last one, this one here, caught me a bit by surprise. Does anyone know exactly what I'm talking about? I hope I was clear with that. Endgame 1 right here, where I was saying if this guy was on a6 and white had a pawn on a5. Has anyone else seen that puzzle? I don't know if it's something that I've shared before in this playlist, but it's a cool one for sure. Some type of endgame study, I imagine. Anyhow, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video. How'd you do with these 3? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will catch you soon. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.